There is a specific kind of person who can undo you completely before they have said one real thing. You replay the first conversation for days, certain you have stumbled onto the missing half of some old equation. Months in, the fog lifts, slowly at first, then all at once. The person standing in front of you now is, in a dozen small ways, nothing like the one you fell for. Who exactly were you falling for? 100 years ago, one psychiatrist argued you were never just falling for them at all. Part of what you loved, he said, was never standing in front of you. It was standing inside you the whole time. It has a name, and it is the strangest, most contested idea in his entire map of the mind. Today we go looking for a figure Jung believed lives even deeper than the shadow, one carrying the face of the opposite sex. Carl Jung called it the anima in men and the animus in women. His claim was that every psyche carries a contrasexual figure, an inner image of the other gender, built from every woman a man has known, and every man a woman has known. Mother, sister, teacher, the first crush, decades of film and myth, all of it gets folded into one inner composite that Jung called the anima. For a woman, the same process builds the animus out of father, brothers, mentors, and every man who ever shaped what masculine meant to her. Jung was explicit that this figure is not a costume you put on. It lives in the unconscious and runs largely without your permission. Which means the anima or animus is not a metaphor for your type. It is closer to an inner personality with its own moods, its own opinions, its own bad days. And in waking life, Jung argued, it does something far more consequential. It decides, quietly and long before you notice, who gets to feel like home. That is the theory this episode has to earn, because it is Jung's strangest claim, and also his most personal. Here is the mechanism, and it explains something about falling in love that nobody warns you about. You do not fall for a stranger from nothing. You fall for a stranger who happens to fit the outline of the anima, or animus you already carry. For a moment, they wear your inner figure like a second skin, and the feeling that produces is not ordinary liking, it is closer to recognition, even fate. Von Franz, Jung's closest student, mapped how this inner figure matures across a person's life, in 4 rough stages. The first stage is purely physical, an instinctual figure of raw bodily attraction, with almost no personality attached at all. The second stage adds romance and beauty, an aesthetic figure, the object of poetry and the perfect first crush. The third stage adds meaning and virtue, a figure who inspires devotion and even a kind of worship. The fourth and final stage is wisdom itself, an inner guide who no longer needs to be chased because it has become part of you. When that fourth stage never arrives and the projection simply collapses instead, it is not proof the relationship was fake, it is proof the projection has finally run its course. And here is the twist Jung considered the whole point. The figure was never really about the other person at all. Which means every one of those overwhelming, inexplicable attractions was also an invitation, whether you noticed it or not. The invitation was never really to know them better. It was to know the part of yourself doing all that reaching. Now the honest part, and this is the episode in the series where honesty costs the most. Of everything in Jung's system, the anima and animus are the most dated and the most thinly supported by modern evidence. Start with the part that has aged badly. Jung built the whole idea on a strict, binary picture of masculine and feminine that mid-century Europe took for granted. There is no validated psychological test that measures how integrated your anima or animus is. Nothing that survives peer review the way real personality instruments do. Now the part that holds up, because the underlying phenomenon does not vanish just because the old language was too rigid. Attachment research has spent decades documenting how early bonds quietly script who we are drawn to, and how strongly decades later. Idealization research finds something even closer to Jung's claim. New couples routinely see their partner as measurably better than the partner sees themselves. Strip away Jung's mythic, gendered language, and the mechanism underneath is genuinely well studied. People project an inner ideal onto real partners, and the fit is never perfect. The projecting is real and well documented. The strict masculine versus feminine packaging around it is the part worth leaving behind. So here is where this actually shows up, in relationships that look nothing like a psychology chapter. Take the relationship that, from the outside, looked like the great romance of someone's 20s. 2 years in, the certainty cracked, not because she changed, but because the version of her he had fallen for was never entirely her. He had fallen in part for his own anima wearing her face, and when the fit slipped, the whole relationship felt like it was collapsing. Now take the other relationship, the quieter one, that never had that lightning strike beginning at all. But years in, it still feels, oddly, like coming home, and neither partner can point to a single overwhelming first moment that explains why. The difference between the two is not passion versus its absence. It is fantasy that has to survive contact with a real person versus a real person met from the start. Jung's actual advice, stripped of the mysticism, was to reclaim the projection rather than just mourning its collapse. Every quality you admired so intensely in someone who let you down was, at least in part, a quality you have not yet let yourself own. That reclaiming is the maturation path Jung actually cared about, not staying stuck chasing the same glowing stranger, relationship after relationship. Do it, and the pull toward anyone impossible, dazzling stranger loosens on its own, without a single argument about the relationship itself. Which brings us to the part people misread most about this whole idea. Integrating the anima, or animus, does not mean the relationship stops mattering, or that passion is somehow beneath you now. It means loving the actual person standing in front of you instead of the glowing figure you once mistook them for. That is a harder love than the first kind, because it survives a bad night, an ordinary face, a disagreement about nothing important. This is the same individuation arc this whole series keeps tracing. The shadow asked you to own what you buried. The persona asked you to loosen what you perform. And now the anima or animus asks you to reclaim who you project. You are not the mask, and you are not the buried material beneath it. And you are not the glowing stranger you keep falling for either. You are the one doing the projecting, and the one capable, slowly, of calling it all back home. This week, notice the next person who hits you with that instant, overwhelming pull, and pause before you decide it means fate. Ask quietly what quality in them you are not yet letting yourself own. Next time in this series, we leave the personal entirely and go looking for the patterns Jung believed every human mind shares. Archetypes and the collective unconscious, the hero, the wise guide, the trickster, and the deep, contested claim that they are not just yours. Same map, one more room. That is the Anima and Animus.